Mock drafts are back here on PHNX Cardinals as the Arizona Cardinals eliminated from postseason contention, which means, Bo Brock, time to fire up the PFF Mock Draft Simulator.
No doubt about it. Otherwise, you get a big fat nothing burger from the Cardinals this holiday season. Instead, we're going to fire up the old Mock Draft Simulator, and we're going to make some draft picks to make this team better and hopefully catapult them into the postseason and make all our wildest dreams come true.
3 rounds. Keep it fresh here. 16th is where the Cardinals are picking. We all know it's going to be higher. We'll get to that later on. You good with 3 rounds, Bo Brock?
Do you want to maybe go one more round and have just a little special extra round where we might make a spicy pick?
Oh, man, super cute. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go 4 rounds here. PFF Mock Draft Simulator here on Christmas Eve. Maybe there'll be a gem under the Christmas tree this year in round 4. Without further ado, we're going to get things going here. And it's a good chance for Bo Brock and I to bone up on some of these brass draft prospects here. Let's start. Are you thinking about making a trade with the Giants coming up with the Giants?
I'll pass. And for the Giants' well-being, they should probably just stick and pick.
What about this right here? Kyler Murray for the first overall pick and pick 16. Oh, my goodness. It would be accepted, but we won't be doing that. We will be starting this draft, though. And the full draft has started. And a lot of these players that we're going to get to know throughout draft season have been selected. And now Cardinals are on the clock.
Who went 1-1, Johnny?
I believe it was Shedeur Sanders, followed by Travis Hunter and our guy McMillan out of U of A. This feels like very realistic compared to last year. Remember when Jaden Daniels was going pick 30 at this time last year? Cam Ward went 5th overall. Gentee to Chicago. Love that pick. Fast forward now, pick 16. It looks like the best position available by and large is the tackle position, Bo.
Yeah, and look, Jonah Williams, he exited the game on Sunday. He was leaving the locker room on some crutches, and I would imagine that Jonah Williams is going to miss significant time and probably has a surgery. Complete speculation on my behalf, but probably going to miss some time to start the season. And he's got, one more year on that deal? Is it time to maybe book in the tackle position with Paris Johnson Jr.? But, of course, everybody's thinking edge, right? Everybody wants to finally get that pass rusher. Who do we have as far as that goes?
Mikael Williams, 6'5", 265, out of Georgia. Can play all over the defensive line. Obviously had a standout game earlier this year against Mississippi State. I remember him week 1 against Texas earlier this season. Good player. Is he worth the 16th overall pick according to PFF? No, that would be a reach. I'm with you. I think based off the value of this position, who has fallen, Kelvin Banks Jr., one of the best left tackle prospects in the entire draft. A lot of people think he is the best tackle prospect. Look at this. He was the bookend with current Cardinal Christian Jones, who played right tackle. They have a relationship there. Austin Ford has drafted famously Texas players. So, is it your first need? No, but to your point, Bo, can Kelvin Banks kick over to the right side with Paris Johnson Jr. remaining at left tackle? I think based off of value, you just can't take a defensive player to take one. I think Kelvin Banks Jr. is the pick here.
And based off what you have sourced yourself, Johnny, that the team wants to build the trenches, and they'll continue to do that on both sides of the football. And here you just go BPA. And I think you're right. Replace, potentially one Kelvin with a new Kelvin, younger version of Kelvin Beachum for Kelvin Banks Jr.
Yeah, Jonah Williams' injury throws a wrench in this whole thing, and it's going to force the Cardinals, like DJ Humphries a year ago, to reevaluate this entire group, and maybe Kelvin Beachum, the kind of the savior of the offensive line this year, maybe he's back on a 1-year deal. We're back on the clock here. Couple different options, but on the edge, Bo, I think the Cardinals are going to finally be able to pull the trigger on a prospect either from the Big Ten or the SEC.
Well. Another Ohio State prospect right there, right for the pickings for the Arizona Cardinals. From the Buckeyes right now continue to play on through the college football playoff. What do you think about this edge prospect?
Yeah, JT Tuamaloa. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correct, but here's what I will pronounce. He had 11 sacks this year in counting. He's on one of the best teams in college football. Austin Ford loves him from Ohio State, just like the Georgia defender. 6'5", 269. He's a senior, so you talk about high floor. That's what you want to look for in the second and third round, guys that can come in and immediately produce. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to like a guy in the Big Ten and the SEC over somebody who plays in the ACC, respectfully. And Donovan, 14 sacks. I like what I see there. But again, what's the production? Kyle Kennard, I have not watched a ton of his tape, 10 sacks. I think the choice is pretty obvious. And look at that, 48 to 48, fits a need and is right smack dab at the value that you want, Bo.
Monty Ossenfort famously has traded down back-to-back second rounds. Do you see? Is there any trade available, or you just want to fill the need?
I'm feeling the need. I think you've had your cake and ate it too in the past couple of drafts. You've added over 20 rookies on rookie deals. That includes undrafted free agents. I think this year it's about maximizing the talent and the depth that's available to you. Don't water down these picks. I think JT's the play, Bo.
All right, let's pull the trigger. Your newest Arizona Cardinal from Columbus is now officially headed to Tempe and then Glendale. All right, we got 2 more rounds to go here for the Arizona Cardinals. They're back on the clock here. Third round of action. We've addressed the offensive trenches. We've gotten a little bit because I think kid out of Ohio State will probably play a little D-line just based on his size. So you've got both trenches addressed. Now, which direction you want to go?
Well, this is not a popular decision. I'm going to look at quarterback here just to see what's available. Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers.
My eyes with this quarterback class.
Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel. I don't know how Dylan Gabriel is higher than Kyle McCord, but somehow we got to reunite Marvin Kyle McCord. Am I right? But
no, it's just like, well, do we rank the pieces of trash or do we just all lump them together? That's just my thought process here.
Respectfully, I'm looking at this and I'm almost tempted to remain at the line of scrimmage. I don't want any part of tight ends. Monty Ossenfort should have his hand slapped if he ever takes another tight end. Cardinals have tight ends for days. I'm not interested in the safety here. Cardinals, the deepest positions on the team are tight end and safety. So if you want to look fortifying the defensive line again, Harmon from Oregon, 5 sacks on the year, consistent player. Look at these snaps, specifically over the B gap. Look what he did to Illinois. Good Lord. To me, it's like you're getting
a good offensive line traditionally over with the Illini.
Yeah, not a great showing against Penn State, but we'll overlook that. Here's what I will say.
Okay.
You're drafting players from the college football playoff. I'm always going to approve of that. This would be 3 for 3 elite players from the college football playoff that have advanced to the semifinals now or the quarterfinals. So I like Harmon. I think you could add him to that rotation with Darius Robinson. I don't think you know what you have in Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols. And to me, it's like you either go him or you look at the guard position.
Right.
I think edge rusher, I don't want to water that position group down because at this point you would hope the Cardinals would have already added one in free agency.
Yeah, great point. I'm with you. This player out of Oregon or take a guard. And if this is the best player available, continue to beef things up on that. There's a lot of experience right there. Player out of Georgia.
Right guard, Isaiah Adams is set to come back, but the Cardinals, we've got it sourced as well. Going to go big game hunting for a guard in free agency. I think Harmon's the pick here. I think you just continue to flush the defensive line with talent. They couldn't tackle Chuba Hubbard last week, and maybe Harmon and our guy JT can make a move.
All right, final pick of the first PHNX Cardinals mock draft of mock draft season. 'Tis the season. All right, last pick. You already started to snoop around that quarterback position. I wanted to really get into day 3 to maybe see who could tantalize the Cardinals. Quinn Ewers remains in the Texas quarterback. I've never been impressed by Quinn Ewers. When Texas via Ohio State, never really kind of took over. Had some Heisman hype and fell short of that. I know he dealt with some injuries. Tough kid. Decent arm strength, but I just don't know if Ewers is the pivot guy potentially.
Nice game against Georgia here. Just horrendous. I'm out on Quinn Ewers as well. I think
I'm out on Will Howard. I mean, talk about bad performances going up against Michigan. That's probably one of the teams that could give you an NFL feel defensively, and he just did not step up. It was easy marching up and down the field against some of those, that Tennessee defense. But Dylan Gabriel, I think the size is not what you want from it.
He's not 6 foot, PFF.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And I don't think he's got the arm strength you want.
I just think these are all wasted picks.
Yeah.
Respectfully, you can talk me into some of these other guys at the top of the draft. We'll have a conversation, but none of those quarterbacks. Those are all practice squad guys. I think I know safety's not a huge area of concern. Rod Moore was on the national championship team last year, has not played this year. Was somebody that a lot of people thought could have been a first round pick. Jack Kaiser, we know the Arizona Cardinals have a need inside linebacker with Kazir White going into free agency. Maybe they opt for an off-ball linebacker. Unlike Steve Keim, don't take that player in the first.
What do we have left
round.
as far as interior offensive linemen? Because I think, with the you got the extension there for Yelda, but could you continue to get younger there? You've got who is this? Jaden Roberts from Alabama.
Yeah, I think this is the play. 6'5", 310, redshirt junior. Good value. I mean, you're at the point now where 122 to 117. That's apples and oranges. This is another kind of developmental piece. I mean, you've developed Isaiah Adams into a starter. This is a young man who's come in, played a lot of snaps this year. Clearly has a preference for run blocking. And I also think, Bo, like this organization every year is going to take flyers on mid-round linemen to develop them. And that's the one thing that I think differentiates Monty Ossenford, many things, via his predecessor, Steve Keim. So I have no issue with this.
I know we're up against it. Give me one look at the wide receivers out there. If there's anybody that's a burner that could be here as far as day 3 picks.
Well, we know the Cardinals love their Illinois prospects. Pat Bryant, 84.9. Yards per reception, 18.2. That would suggest with 10 touchdowns, Pat Bryant can take the top off the defense. Quick Google search here, Bo Brock. It's a young man that has had some injuries. He's 6'3", though, 200 pounds, out of Jacksonville, Florida. And a potential, let's look at this, a potential 40 time. Yeah, he's a guy at the end of the day that's you probably wouldn't feel great about taking, but at the same time, I have no issue with the Cardinals on day 3 rolling the dice on some prospects that they like. I don't think a lot of us knew who Taylor Demerson was, and that ended up working out. So you want to roll the dice on Pat Bryant? I actually like his ranking more than I thought. I thought that said over 200. So
Evan Stewart's a pretty quick guy too. Just looked him up. I mean, I've known about him, but he's 6 foot 175, 4.3 speed. So if you're looking for more of that type,
people are looking
receiver.
for speed. They think that's what this offense needs.
And it needs a lot.
Yeah, it needs a lot. But let's just go with the guard for Bama. We'll start it off really kind of a no frills draft, but really start to fortify the offensive and defensive lines for the Arizona Cardinals.
It liked everything but the guard, but again, at the end of the day, this is the meat and potatoes draft. That's the kind of offseason the Cardinals need to have. And would this shape the Cardinals into having a playoff team next year, Bo Brock?
Still need some help as far as some playmaking department. I think still needs some more polished, developed help off the edge. But hey, look, it adds talent to your roster. You're better than post draft than you were before the draft.
Thanks for being a part of our first and last 2024 mock draft. Next time we do one, it's going to be 2025 full-fledged draft season. For Bo Brock, Damon Dog, I'm Johnny Venerable. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube, and we'll see you on the next video.